What you see here is a Russian strike on Ukrainian grain silos right next to the Romanian border. The video was recorded by a Romanian witness, capturing the moment when Ukrainian anti-aircraft fire illuminated the sky over Rini, Odessa in an effort to intercept a Russian kamikaze drone. The fire, however, did not manage to intercept the drone, and the grain silos and a warehouse got damaged due to the attack. Both sides are currently constantly deploying long-range kamikaze drones to strike each other in the depths of their enemy's territory. Hello my friends, and welcome to another Ukraine war update. Today we will take a look at current events that took place on the Donetsk front, especially south of Bakhmut, and speak about recent Russian activity in the Kupya sector, so stay tuned. Recently released video footage from the town of Klishchivka south of Bakhmut shows that heavy clashes between Ukrainian and Russian forces are currently ongoing in the area. This helmet cam video shows soldiers of the Tsunami Assault Regiment of the National Police of Ukraine storming Russian positions inside the town. The men are seen clearing buildings with small arms fire and grenades. I believe that this is actually the first helmet cam video showing combat inside the town, while there was already a helmet cam video of Ukrainian soldiers investigating parts of the town released before. The scenes back then did not show any fighting. And here I am speaking of helmet cam videos showing combat, not drone videos. Drone videos got released quite a lot. From recent videos and Russian troop behavior in the area, it seems Ukraine already controls the majority of the southern parts of the town, while the Russian 83rd Separate Guards Air Assault Brigade is still holding the north. Between August 10th and August 22nd, Russia launched at least 3 mechanized counterattacks northwest and southeast of Klishchivka. All of these attacks took place right on the outskirts of the town, indicating that Ukraine reinforced these parts to establish a solid base to advance further into Russian-held territory in order to make new gains. This Russian drone video from the southern outskirts of Klishchivka shows one of these attacks. We can see a Russian tank spearheading the assault of 2 infantry fighting vehicles while firing at Ukrainian targets. Seems like the tank was a T-90M that was supported by 2 BMP-3 fighting vehicles, so we can tell that Russia threw some of their higher-end gear into this assault. The deployment of such high-end gear indicates that Russia takes Ukraine's efforts in this sector very serious, and that they try to drive Ukrainian forces out of the positions they recently captured in and around the city. We can see a lot of outgoing fire from the advancing vehicles, and a lot of smoke is rising from the suspected Ukrainian positions. The drone shows pretty well how big the area covered by the Russian fire actually is, and I bet most of the Ukrainians within this zone kept their heads down. There was not much they could do in such a situation. This showcases the effect of suppression fire once again pretty well. The exact outcome of this assault is not clear. Pro-Ukrainian sources say the vehicles got destroyed later, while pro-Russians claim the attack was a success. It is hard to tell, but based on the fact that Ukraine still is in control of these parts of the town, I think it will be something in between these two claims. Still interesting footage showcasing a platoon-sized mechanized assault through open terrain. The BMP-3 is equipped with a 100mm 2A70 semi-automatic rifled gun, capable of firing various types of ammunition, including high-explosive fragmentation rounds and anti-tank guided missiles. Additionally, it features a 30mm 2A72 autocannon and a coaxial machine gun for anti-personnel and anti-aircraft defense. The effect of the 30mm cannon is clearly visible in this clip. It appears that all of the Russian counterattacks in that area were conducted by small platoon-sized elements utilizing the standard approach both sides employ in this conflict. Further southeast of the location of the previous clip, the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade stopped a second Russian mechanized attack in the area of Andriivka. Here we can also see T-90 tanks. Some people say that these are the vehicles from the previous clip, but I cannot confirm this. As said, this took place further southeast within Russian-held territory. It is most likely that the vehicles got destroyed when they were on the way to their next objective. Since there was no footage of the strike released, I assume that this was an ambush, and the videos are withheld for OPSEC reasons. The 3rd documented Russian mechanized counterattack took place on the northwestern outskirts of Klishchivka. We can see a slightly over platoon-sized element of Russian armored vehicles, including tanks and infantry fighting vehicles with cope cages for protection against drones. The whole attack was filmed by at least 2 Ukrainian drones flying above the area. Therefore, the attack was filmed from multiple angles, from which 2 separate video clips were released. The Russian assault element quickly came under heavy Ukrainian fire and failed to continue the attack. We can see a lot of artillery impact stopping the column and taking out the vehicles, from which several can be seen burning in this clip. If you watched till now, please make sure to give this video a like. Sadly, this is the only way the YouTube algorithm makes this video available for a larger audience. Also, every comment is very much appreciated since this helps with the algorithm even more. Also, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell and enable all notifications for this channel. That way you will not miss any new uploads. It often happens that the videos I upload get buried and most of my subscribers do not even notice that I uploaded something. This is quite frustrating, especially since it takes way longer to create these videos than you think. As always, I cannot state enough how thankful I am for every viewer, especially the ones who follow me since 2014, where I started reporting about the war in Syria. The second Ukrainian drone filmed the attack from a much closer angle. We can clearly see that Russian mechanized assaults face the same problems like the recent Ukrainian ones in the southern parts of Ukraine. The additional reconnaissance layer drones provide on the battlefield make every tactical surprise nearly impossible. The chance to utilize terrain for effective concealment is basically close to zero, since every attempt can be early recognized, and countermeasures depending on the assigned threat level can be deployed pretty quickly. Future combination with advanced artificial intelligence will make operations like this even harder. Just imagine countless autonomous drone swarms flying over a vast area, scanning every inch of territory for movement or other signs of enemy presence, and then engaging on its own. A pretty scary and inhuman thought if you ask me. The Ukrainians definitely did not want to give up their position and fired everything they had at the Russian attackers. After the attack got halted, the Ukrainians even targeted the retreating Russians with what looks like cluster munitions at the end of the clip. From the footage, it looks like Ukraine still has the upper hand in this sector, and there are good chances they will further advance in this area soon. For the ones saying I am a pro-Ukrainian propaganda channel for saying this now, I have to say that you should watch the whole video. This time a lot of Russian footage is included. However, I merely speak about what we see in the videos, and here it definitely looks like Ukraine is on top. I try to be as objective as possible, even if this is exhausting as hell. In fact, trying to show conflicts from as much perspectives as possible always has hurt this channel pretty much since I started in 2014. Channels who pick sides get way more financial support from their viewers and have a pretty stable viewership, sometimes even surpassing their subscriber count. This video from the Donetsk region captures a rather intriguing event, not because what we're witnessing is a first-time occurrence, but because it reveals something we've previously observed, only this time the roles are reversed. In the footage, a Russian drone can be seen detecting and tracking a Ukrainian anti-air defense system while it launches missiles. At a certain point, it appears the system even fires missiles at the drone, but then it becomes a target of Russian fire shortly after. Like with previous videos showing similar events, the surface-to-air missile system even keeps firing after the hit, and the missile lands in a field in front of it. Not only Russian drones hunted in the Donetsk city region, here we see a series of FPV drone attacks on a Russian BMP-T Terminator. The BMP-T is quite a high-value target that gets rarely spotted by Ukrainian troops. This is because there are not so many BMP-T Terminators out there, and Russia takes a lot of care for them. Here they even tried to recover the vehicle by towing it away after it got disabled by the first strike, but Ukrainian drone operators kept hitting it. I believe spotting one of those machines is like seeing a unicorn for them. The cost effectiveness of those small FPV drones is just insane, and it always amazes me seeing it in real life, especially with such high-end gear like the BMP-T. These drones only cost a few $100s each, what is nothing compared to smart munitions, military loitering munitions or advanced anti-tank missiles. Also, the fact that basically everyone can buy one is also crazy. The last video from the Donetsk region for today shows Ukrainian tanks from the 72nd Separate Mechanized Brigade conducting an assault on Russian positions near Krasnohorivka. The video got filmed by a camera strapped to the turret of one of the tanks. We can see the tanks pounding structures with their main cannons without facing any visible resistance. The tanks are really lucky that no Russian FPV drone was dispatched to intercept the attack. In general, drones pose a significant threat to tanks due to their ability to provide real-time reconnaissance, target acquisition, and the potential to carry various types of munitions. Also, presence of drones overhead can divert the attention of tank crews, forcing them to split their focus between managing the tank's operation and identifying potential threats from the air. This can make tanks more susceptible to ground-based attacks. Not that there is a high chance you can detect small drones from inside a tank without proper sensors, but the thought of them being out there alone is surely distressing enough for the crews, I think. In the Kupiansk region, Russian forces conducted a number of strikes on Ukrainian targets. Currently, there are reports of a Russian counter-offensive in the region and also that Russia has made some larger gains in the area. But from the footage released, it is hard to confirm this. As you can see for yourself, the videos mainly show direct strikes, but besides this, nothing significant from that area was released. This video of a Russian strike on a building occupied by Ukrainian soldiers shows the problem with most of the Russian footage. The quality is just too bad. I do not know if it is just to save space for more recordings or if their internet is so bad that they cannot upload high-resolution footage, or if they do it on purpose for OPSEC reasons, but most footage is pretty grainy. Not that Ukrainian footage is always in HD, but overall the videos they release have a slightly better resolution. I remember that in the beginning of the war the videos Russia released were in much higher quality. What do you think? In this video from the Kremlin front, we see one of the many Russian harassment attacks on Ukrainian trenches with rocket launchers. This type of Russian attack is typical for this particular region, but Ukrainians are also doing it. Harassment fire refers to a military tactic in which artillery or other indirect fire weapons are used to target specific areas, usually behind enemy lines or in proximity to enemy positions, with the goal of disrupting the enemy's activities, causing psychological stress, and generally making it difficult for them to operate effectively. This type of fire is typically not intended to cause significant damage or casualties, but rather to create a nuisance and degrade the enemy's capabilities. Harassment fire is often employed during times of relative calm or lulls in combat to keep the enemy on edge and prevent them from resting, reorganizing, or carrying out planned activities. The unpredictable nature of this tactic can wear down the morale and endurance of the opposing forces, as they are constantly exposed to the threat of incoming fire, even when they are not actively engaged in combat. By subjecting the enemy to random and unpredictable attacks, harassment fire aims to create fear, anxiety, and uncertainty among enemy forces. This can lower their morale and contribute to a sense of insecurity. Harassment fire can interrupt the enemy's communication, logistics, and movement, making it harder for them to coordinate their actions and maintain operational effectiveness. By forcing the enemy to react to incoming fire, harassment fire can divert their attention and resources away from their primary objectives, making them more vulnerable to other military actions. The constant threat of harassment fire can prevent the enemy from fully resting and recovering from physical and mental fatigue, which can have a cumulative effect on their overall combat readiness. Harassment fire can make it challenging for the enemy to observe their surroundings or carry out reconnaissance, as they need to seek cover and limit their exposure. Ukraine responded to the Russian attacks in the area with precision strikes themselves. Here we can see a direct hit on a Russian truck in a forest. And here we can see a drone video of a strike on a Russian mortar in the Luhansk region. The mortar looks like a 2S4. The 2S4, also known by its NATO reporting name M1975, is a unique self-propelled mortar system developed and manufactured by the Soviet Union. The 2S4 is equipped with a massive 240mm mortar that can launch a variety of projectiles, including high explosive, smoke, and incendiary rounds. The sheer caliber of the mortar gives it the ability to deliver highly effective indirect fire support at long ranges, making it capable of engaging fortified positions, defensive structures, and enemy concentrations. Here we see a Russian soldier utilizing a man-portable anti-air defense system to destroy a Ukrainian drone in an undisclosed location. This is the first time a German mortar was spotted near the front line in Ukraine. And here we can see Ukrainian soldiers train with a Dingo vehicle armed with a MG3 machine gun. That's it for today's Ukraine war update. I wanted to use the final moments of this video to express my gratitude to all of you who have stayed with me throughout. You, my dedicated viewers, are truly invaluable to me, and I'm pleased that my content holds value for you. I must admit that I'm currently feeling quite exhausted, and as a result, there haven't been many recent videos. Additionally, my last Ukraine war update didn't perform as well as the others. This was mainly due to YouTube's algorithms affecting its visibility, resulting in a notably lower impression count compared to my other videos. I'll include a link to it in the description box so you can take a look if you're among the many who missed it. Every like, comment, and share is immensely appreciated. Your engagement and support continue to motivate me, especially during times when I struggle to find the energy to create videos. Covering this war in the long term without resorting to sarcasm or sensationalism is quite challenging. I am currently considering shortening the updates to enhance the quality of my commentary. However, I would be interested in hearing your feedback on this first, so please don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments.